So we're going to start with basically the new unit, which is solve algebraic models, okay? How can we solve things algebraically, okay? We're going to look at algebraic model and we're going to look at graphical model. So using formulas to solve and using graphs to solve, okay? Algebraic models, so a formula is a mathematical equation, right? So it's an equation where you have an equal sign. That relates two or more variable. Okay? So equation means you have an equal sign. You have a left side and a right side with an equal in between, and then you'll have two or more variables that you're relating to each other. So like for example, we have P equal 25, T equal minus 800. That's, for example, an equation of a profit, right? So you have a profit, you have the number of tickets, right? And then profit depending on how much tickets you sell, right? There's a relation there. We also have the Einstein theory of relativity, which is E equals mc squared. You see that I have 1, 2, 3. Technically, c is the speed of light, so that's a constant, right? So you have the relation between energy and mass. Right? So again, this is, it depends on the mass with respect to the speed of light, then you're gonna have to be able to calculate the energy, right? So, so these are equations. We can, let's say if you know the energy, right? And speed of light is a constant, you can solve for m by rearranging the formula, yes? Okay, so this is what we're gonna be doing in this chapter, okay? So there are multiple ways to solve multi-step problems, okay? So plan your solution by working backward from what you are trying to find to what you are given, okay? At the end of the day, you guys have done it so many times. You've done solving and isolating. It's not new. We did it with the geometry, right? Where let's say they give you the volume and they ask you for the radius. Or they give you the volume, they ask you for the height, right? Or they give you this and then your surface area and you're looking for the length. You've done it. You have rearranged formulas, so it's not new, okay? So determine what numerical info is you need to find. Decide what formula to use. Write the solution by working forward from what you are given to what you are trying to find. Convert quantity to similar units, which is very, very, very important. A lot of time students miss this part. If you don't have the same unit, centimeter should be in centimeter, meter should be in meter. If it's mil, right? It has to be grams, right? They have to be in the same unit. Substitute known values given or calculated to solve for the unknown. So basically all of this is the same thing as solving equation using the grasp method, where you write down your given information, you write down what's required with a question mark next to it, you write down your formula, plug in information into your formula, and solve for the unknown. Same idea, okay? So let's look at this question here. The formula S equals 0.60 plus 331.5 gives the approximate speed of sound in air, S meters per second, when the temperature is T degrees Celsius. Determine the speed of sound at negative 40 degrees Celsius. So it's important that you know what the letters represent, right? S represents the speed of sound, right, in meters per second, and T is the degrees in Celsius. So you're gonna start with the formula, so you're gonna write the formula down. You're gonna find this like so, like seriously, you're teaching us this. We've done it so many times, right? So you're gonna write this down, right? Then you're gonna substitute your given information. What is given to us? Temperature, which is 40 degrees. Is that a unit that should be in? Temperature should be in what unit? In degrees Celsius. What's given to me? Degrees Celsius, so it is, right? Well, if they give it to you in Kelvin, then you have to convert, right? So here's where you have to be careful. You've done it probably if you took chemistry, right? You've done it, right? Where, oh no, it can't be in degrees Celsius, it has to be in Kelvin, so you have to change or whatever, right? So you have to be careful what the formula is asking for. In this case, T has to be in degrees Celsius. It is given to you in degrees Celsius. There's not much that needs to be done, right? So S equals 0.6 times negative 40 degrees Celsius. Do not include the unit here. Plus 331.5. Then you're going to use BEDMAS, right, to solve, which is going to give you, in this case, 307.5. Include your units. What would be your unit here? What does S, what is the speed, which is in what?
Meter per second.
Meter per second. So it's going to be meters per second. Okay? So that's why we have to read our question properly. S is in meters per second. So this is how I know what my unit is going to be in. What's my end unit? Okay, I'll come back to this page 1 second. Okay, we're missing one step here, which is write a final statement. So you're going to write therefore, at negative 40 degrees Celsius, the speed of sound in air is 307.5 meter per second. So think about it right now. Right now the temperature is minus 30 degrees, right? So if you want to know how long it takes the sound to go from one place to the other, what's the speed of sound, right? This is the formula that you're going to use. Okay? So if you want to calculate this, you put negative 30 degrees here, and then you know how long it takes for the sound to travel. Okay? So it's usually slower at colder temperature. Okay? So it takes 305 every second. It will travel 307.5 meters per second. Yeah. Okay? So I have a landscaper uses a bucket with radius 18 centimeter and a height of 18 centimeter to pour soil into a rectangular planter measuring 1.2 meter by 40 centimeter by 20 centimeter. How many buckets of soil are needed to fill the planter? So what do we have here? So we have a bucket, and we have a rectangular planter. So we have two shapes. Yes? We have, what's the first shape? A cylinder. Okay? And then we have a rectangular planter. Right? And then what we're using this cylinder to fill the soil, and then we're dumping it into rectangular shape. Okay? Now the question is, how many buckets of soil are needed to fill the planter? Okay? So I want to know how many buckets I need. So if I want to know how many buckets I need, what am I looking at here? Volume, right? So I want to know what the volume of the bucket is, what the volume of the planter is, And then I want to find how many do I need to fill the planter, correct? All right. So first thing you're going to look at, you are going to look at your measures. Are all your measures in the same unit, using the same unit? No. What's not? 1.2 meters. So first of all, you're going to have to convert that. What do you convert? Do you convert all the other 4 into meter, or do you convert this to centimeter? Okay, so how many centimeters is that? How many centimeters is 1 meter? 100, right? A meter stick. A meter stick. Meter stick is 100 centimeter. Yeah? Okay. So every 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So what do I do to find how many centimeters is 1.2 meter? Huh?
120.
Yeah, but what do you do? Multiply by 100, yeah? Okay, so you're going to multiply by 100, so that gives you 120 centimeter. You're moving the decimal 1, and then you're moving it twice, so that's why there is an extra 0, right? All right, so what formulas do I want to use? You guys have your formulas from the last unit? Volume of a cylinder and a volume of a rectangular prism. What's a volume of a cylinder and a volume of a rectangular prism? Pi r squared h. And so the volume is pi, sorry, this one is not, right? This is the volume. So that's pi r squared h. And then the planter is length times width times height. Do I know all the information? Do I know my radius and my height for the bucket? Yes? And do I know my length, width, and height? Yes. Okay, so let's plug in the information. So volume equals for the length times width times height. So that's 120 times 40 times 20. So that gives me 96,000. And what would be my unit? Centimeters cube. And then for the bucket, I just do pi times 18 squared times 18. So that gives me 18,321.77 again centimeter cube. Okay, am I done? What's the question asking me for?
You have to find out the number of buckets.
The number of buckets. So to find out the number of buckets, what do I do?
Divide the volume of planter
Yeah.
by volume of bucket.
Good. So to find the number of buckets, right, I need to find the total volume of the planter and divide that by the volume of the bucket. Okay, so that's going to be 96,000 over 18,321.77. which is 5.2 buckets. So you're going to write a therefore statement, and you're going to say, therefore, 5 buckets are needed, or about 5 buckets would be needed to fill the planter. Are we okay with this? Okay. So, a landscaper wants to estimate the cost of fertilizing a triangular lawn with side length 150 meter by 200 meter by 300 meter. One bag of fertilizer costs $19.98 and covers an area of 900 meters square. She uses her own formulas to determine the area of the lawn, the area A of a triangle with side length A, B, and C, given by this formula, where S is equal to A plus B plus C divided by 2. So they gave you two formulas here, and it's asking you to estimate the cost to fertilize the lawn. So you are given a triangle with 3 sides, right? And then they gave you the formula for the area of the triangle with A, B, and C in it. But then there's also the letter S. The letter S, they gave you another formula for it using the A, B, and C divided by 2. Okay? So there's 2 formulas that you need to use to get to your solution. Okay? Don't worry about filling this. Okay? I want you to think about, what's the question asking you for? The cost, right? So your end number should be how much money it's going to cost me to fertilize this. What do you need to find to see how much money it costs?
First, we have to find the area of.
So the cost is what you would need how many bags, right? And to find how many bags, you need to know the area, right? And then to know the area, you need to know S, right? So I want you to take your time and try to solve that problem. There's basically right here, you can fill out this, and then we'll take it up together.